Hey y'all, today is a big day here on the farm. I'm trying to get this glare off this screen for you guys. Welcome back to VW Family Farm. We have a lot going on here today. We always start with milking cows. Fancy's in here getting milk. She's not getting milk, she's just hanging out. So I've got another cow to milk. I've got a cow that looks like she might be due any minute, might be calving today. She's not due for 10 more days, but today could be the day. There is so much going on here today. I'm going to give you guys a little highlight reel of all of it as this video goes on. So there is so much going on right now. I'm going to kind of take you around and give you an overview. It's later in the day. I was going to spend the whole day with y'all, show you all kinds of things, but so much has happened here. I've not brought y'all in the market for a while, so I want to kind of show you around in here, give you a look at it. You can see all this milk. We had a milk delivery. We carry milk from a little place in Missouri that is vat pasteurized milk, meaning it's low temperature pasteurized if you're uncomfortable with raw milk. But you want the next best thing, this is it. It's low temperature pasteurized, so it's got all the good stuff in it, but it has been through a pasteurization process. Most of it is homogenized, so the cream does not rise. People love it. We get chocolate whole 2%. We've got eggnog flavored milk right now. And then let's see, down there on the bottom, that's my milk. I milk from the cows. I'm getting about 4 gallons a day milking once a day, 2 cows, and I've got 2 more about to calve any moment. Miracle is one of them. So we have moved to A2 cows. If you're unfamiliar with that, it is testing the beta casein component in them, and there's A1 or A2. And so we're moving the direction of A2. It's the most digestible form of milk for people, but the cows are more expensive. We have 7 cows, 5 of them are A2. So we're super excited about that. Had no idea. We did not set out to go buy A2s. We just decided to test them. And if you thought you couldn't drink milk, find a raw milk producer that raises A2 jerseys, or cows for that matter, and give the milk a try. I think you'd be surprised. It's a lot more gut friendly, and it's basically a superfood. So anyway, been milking. So when I get the next 2 cows in milk, Miracle is one of them, and she came back A2. So excited about that, because you know Miracle's got a permanent home here no matter what. So to find out that she was A2, oh, I could not have been more excited. I'm constantly washing eggs. So you can see we have got 2 big coolers and 2 big freezers here in the market. We're carrying lots of stuff. Let me flip you guys around, just give you a bird's eye view of the market. I'm walking in the front door basically. We've got all kinds of good organic groceries, local coffees and olive oils. This is my little sourdough section over here. Got some of my tallow balm up there. Those are beeswax candles from Ben's Beehives. We've got different scents of essential oil scented candles. Got all kinds of products from Cultures for Health, and we've got freeze-dried sourdough starter, all the things. This is organic coconut oil soap that I made. Got some books in for the holidays. Made these herbal blends carrying Young Living products. Got some diffusers. The Best Tamales. They get their own freezer. That's the overstock, so we will just go on past that. We got a little coffee bar. We've got a ground beef cube freezer. That's where storage is right now, but things get pulled out of there on market day. Got preserves I've made and different things I've brought in. Pickled eggs and salsas. Normally all these lights are on too. We've got freeze-dried fruit. If you've not tried this brand, it's called Ugly. It's where they take like fruit that has some imperfections and dry it, and it's literally the only one I found that has no added ingredients. It's literally just dried fruit. Got nuts and things, and then this is bread that I make, sourdough bread. Got soups. This just came this morning. It's a local Arkansas company. Salsas and seasonings, y'all can look them up. We tried this original earlier. Oh, we ate half the jar. So good. Sugar-free. It doesn't have fake sugars or anything. It just doesn't have sugar at all, and it is so good. Sourdough cinnamon rolls I've got ready for the Friday when we open. Some sourdough books. I got lots more stuff coming tomorrow as well. And then this is kind of our canned goods section. Honey, that's a gallon of honey from our hives. Honey, and then this is a jar of hot honey. Ben's probably making some more of that now. We carry a few things in here. We carry our own meat, but we carry some things like pastas and sourdough breads and things like that. Lots of fruits and vegetables because they're not in season. So frozen is the next best thing. This is our little produce section. It's empty right now because we're not open. Redmond products because we love them. If you have not tried the Pina Colada Relight, oh, you're missing out. In fact, I'll put a link to Redmond down in the description. And also I've got a code that'll save you 15%. So may as well use that. We are stocked up. Y'all, this stuff sells like crazy because it is like the best electrolytes you can get. Lots of organic products. Pasta sauces, flours, all kinds of stuff. Pastas. And then we do have a snack section. So that's the market. That's how it's going. It is, y'all, I just cannot tell you as we're winding up 2024 how this market has literally blown our minds and changed our lives. It has given us a place to sell our products that we've been doing for years in literally our front yard. It's so crazy. It's fun. We've met so many people. A lot of you guys have traveled here from different states to shop, to visit, have a cup of coffee. It's been the most amazing life change that I never saw coming. So we have some construction going on here too. I wanted to show you guys. We had a crew here working today. We've told you before about our NRCS high tunnel. And I say it like that because my accent, a lot of times people are like, what are you saying? And so try to say it slow where y'all can understand me because it's something you could look into too. And we are actually getting another one, and we're so fortunate. We have an installer in our area that he actually, I don't know what to say, manufactures these. Ben, you want to come over here? He manufactures, yeah, bends the pipe. So they're basically his kits that he sells. And that's part of it. If you go through him, he uses his own high tunnel kits. So anyway, we agreed to that, and then him and his crew are putting it up. Yes. And tell them like what size it is and all the things.
It is an 84-foot wide, or 84-foot long, 32-foot wide.
And then this one that we're standing in, isn't it 96 foot long?
96 by 24.
Okay, so this one's wider and shorter, the new one.
Yes, the new one, yes.
The new one. So we did that on purpose. He really wanted us to go like match them together.
Same length.
Yeah, same length. So it's gonna be a little bit shorter, but we decided that we thought that would be okay for it to be a little shorter, and you're gonna utilize the space anyway that's left.
Yeah, we're gonna make a composting pile over in that area, and that'll be handy because it'll be right here by the new high tunnel. One thing about this new high tunnel, this one here has on the end walls got screen doors, so it's only accessible by walking in here. That one's gonna have like sliding barn doors, so I'll be able to drive my tractor with the tiller on the back of it in there. So.
Yay! And that's our little tractor?
Yes.
So that's why you're talking about getting like a little bitty bucket for that?
Yes.
That would be handy. So anyway, they've got a good start on it.
So far today, of course, starting out, you have to square everything up. So they squared it up to this older greenhouse, and they drive underneath this is another pipe down here. So there's actually two different pipes. They drive that one in the ground, I think 30 inches deep, get that in the ground so when wind does get in this one, like this one's open, that Andrew is in, wind gets in there, it's not just going to pick it up out of the ground. So every one of these are drove at least 2 foot into the ground, and then they attach these poles to the ones they drove in the ground, if that makes sense.
They have done a lot of work, honestly, today.
Well, I don't know how many ribs there are down through here, but
there are
a lot of them.
Yeah. They made They definitely knew what they were doing. They made pretty short work of it. And you can see, like, some people's high tunnels and greenhouses I've seen, down on the bottom is wood. And it just doesn't hold up.
This one here is wood.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And so I've heard people say that they are moving more towards putting metal along the bottom, and that's just going to be a lot better in the long run. So really, really pumped.
Metal that's going to go on the bottom.
Do what?
I said I figure this right here is the metal that'll go on the bottom and the top, where our wood is.
Yeah.
They've got some flat metal right there. So another difference I just noticed, this is the first one I've looked at from this builder, is this is one solid piece bent and it joins up on the other end. So it's only two pieces there.
It joins in the middle?
Correct. So you look at this one. When we built it, we drove this post down in the ground, so this is one solid post going down in the ground. And then we got a smaller pipe that has the rib up here going down in, going over. So that's just one thing I've noticed on this. This one looks a tad bit heavier duty.
Which this guy that is putting this up, he has done this, I don't even know how many years. He is like the OG in our area, or county for sure, and probably other counties close by for doing this. So I'm sure, and he is manufacturing these, I'm sure he has improved the design and improved it. So anyway, I feel like we're reaping the benefits of his whole career of expertise. I'm just really excited. This actually is already part of my garden. So it's gonna give me my whole back garden back. If you've been around here a while, you know, for a few years, I had like, how many square feet did we decide I had? 10,000 square feet? In garden. More than that.
Yeah, more than that. It's 20-something.
20-something thousand. Anyway, it got really crazy there for a while how much we were gardening. Now my front garden is the parking lot of the market. And then I had a whole nother garden area over where the beehives are. And I still could grow over there as well. It's kind of transitioned more to the bee yard and an orchard. But just having these two high tunnels is going to give me back at least the production that I started with when I first started gardening. And we'll just see. There's only so much I can handle, so many hours in the day. So I'm going to really focus this next year on gardening these two spaces to the best of my ability. And sadly, Ben is going back to work in January. Or else we could just really go all out. Yeah. But
these guys messed you up today too, didn't they?
with what?
You didn't. You had something else on your plans today?
Oh yeah, I had on my agenda to clean up. So we've had a killing frost here, freeze actually. You can see my tomatoes. That was on my agenda to clean this up, but it's literally next to where they're working, and I just didn't want to make them uncomfortable, make it awkward. So I just let them work, and I'll get in here maybe this weekend. So, and one thing I want to mention before we sign off here, the tire tanks. You want to take them back there and show them?
Sure.
One?
So these are some more NRCS projects.
Yeah.
Different ways that you can get things, not gonna say paid for all the way, but if you do some of the work, it definitely cuts the cost down.
Right.
But
Well,
we saved a lot of money.
I know sometimes I've seen these videos and I want numbers. The sun, you see?
Yeah, I'm blocking it.
I want numbers. I want to know like how much these things bring in. So let's go back there and look at them, and I'm just going to give you the numbers of what it's going to pay. So Ben mentioned, I turned the camera off, but he mentioned telling y'all the numbers on this thing. So we just told you how big it is. Now you have to keep in mind all kinds of things. Everything in farming is different depending on where you live, you know, your government funding to your NRCS office and what they allow and what they pay. So this is just to give you a ballpark.
And if you do the work or
Yes.
find somebody like this guy in particular,
Right.
He's been doing this for the NRCS for quite a long time. So
Yeah.
that is one aspect of it. But when we first started this, we was going to build another high tunnel, the same size as that one over there, same length, same width. And I told him, I said, well, run the calculations on it and tell me how much am I going to owe you over what they're going to pay. So So he figured the square footage on it, and it was going to be substantially more than what we're paying now. I think, off the top of my head, I think it's like $7,000 more over what NRCS is going to pay.
Right.
And then he ran the numbers on this one, which is, like I said, 32 foot wide versus that one being 24, and it was only $2,000 difference. Now this one is roughly 10 foot shorter or something like that. But the reason that it's so much less on us is because square footage overall, and these ribs, no matter, no, not the ribs, it was the sidewalls. No matter if this thing was 12 foot wide, 32 foot wide, they still got to have the same amount of pipe in the sidewalls. So that overall was going to cut the cost down because square footage wide, if that's making sense.
We're getting square footage by going wider,
yes,
rather than longer, because longer adds more sidewalls.
Right. So you was going to pay the same amount of money for the sidewalls, whether it was 20 foot wide, 32 foot wide, or whatever.
Yeah.
So with a 20 foot wide one, you're not going to have the same amount of square footage as you are on the 32, of course.
Right.
So
a while
that
ago
helped
you
out.
said this is 30 foot wide. Now you said 32.
I think it's
It doesn't
32.
really matter.
It's
but-
30 or 32.
Right. So the numbers on this, to give you the cold hard facts, we're paying $2,000, and we're going to wind up with this high tunnel basically completely installed, hands off, turnkey job basically. So there you go. That's the numbers on that. Let's head back to the water tanks, and I'll tell you about those. First off, I have to give a shout out to this guy right here. He has worked 2 weeks on this project, non-stop, every day, some capacity, and it has been a lot of work. We put in 5 of these. I say we as in he. I came like twice and helped when I had to, when he couldn't do it. I've done other things and tried to keep up the market and all the other things, and he has focused on this. Took off for Thanksgiving, but this has been, I just want to preface this by saying this has been work. So if you want to, like, quote unquote, make money on these projects, you have to do the work. If you're paying someone like we did with the high tunnel, you're not going to make money. You might come out even or just owing a little, but if you want to come out ahead, you're going to have to do it yourself. I know it's windy. We're going to try to block the wind, but I want to give y'all an overview. So this is like is this a 25 foot square?
Roughly.
About 25 foot square. So we showed you these on the last video, and like the plumbing was here and we had dug down. So we put fabric under this gravel, geotech fabric. And then, like I said, there's piping. We already had a water line down through here. So that was already here. We tapped into that. And then put the tire over it. And then you can see down in there, we've poured that full of Quickcrete.
Yep.
How you take over. You know a lot more about this than I do. I don't even know why I'm talking.
That roughly took about 7 bags of 80-pound bags of Quickcrete to fill underneath the lip of that tire and build it up level to it. Of course, I've cut that 2-inch pipe off, put a coupling there. That way I can pull that 2-inch pipe out and drain all the water out. To finish, the pipe comes out of the tank over to there. I got to cut that one off at the ground level, and then the water will just come out of there. The 1 inch is the inlet. Still got to cut it down, put a threaded fitting on there. Here's the float valve. I'll screw that threaded fitting into this. That shuts the water off. This Job valve. Those are some of the best valves out there.
And we use those on our water tanks now. They work really, really well. So yeah, you can see it's already holding water down in there.
So 2 totally different projects here. The tire tanks is one project. Actually, there's 3 if you wanted all 3 of them. You can get paid to install the main water line. You have to do it at their spec, and of course you got to get qualified to install it. The tire tanks and the plumbing for it, and then this right here is what they call a heavy use area. You dig down 6 inches, put the geotech style fabric down, and put SP2 on top of that.
So we did not install the water line through the NRCS program. That's one thing I wanted to tell you guys, like with the high tunnel or with any of these projects, you you have to decide, and someone told us this at the very beginning of all of this, and we try to remember it, and it's so true. If you're ready to go with your farm and with jumping into doing something like raising cows or whatever, and you don't get approved, so it's going to cause you to delay a year, you have to decide, is it profitable for you to wait for them to help you financially, or is it more profitable for you to go ahead and jump in and build the fence yourself, or whatever the case may be? We did not get a water line for them, but I do want to just give you some numbers to just so you got something to go. We had no idea. So the heavy use area and the tire tank combined in our area, we're expecting about $3,000 per area, I guess you should say. We have 5 of them, so it will be about $15,000 for the 5 of them. Now we have put quite a bit into these. We had some parts, but if you had to go buy every single part, you would make some, but it does cost some money. Like we had 5 dump truck loads of gravel brought in. That costs a pretty penny, things like that. So you're not going to get rich off these projects, but if you do them yourselves, you will have some nice things, and you'll have them paid for, and you'll have a little money in your pocket.
So these being our first ones to ever do newbie, I got on Facebook asking a group of people that's in a group of regenerative farmers that do this sort of thing or have done this, how they do the concrete. So I didn't know if we should mix it wet, put it in there, what. I ended up putting it in there a little bit at a time, dry, and then I'd wet it through this inlet valve. And then after I got it all mixed up, smoothed off, nice and pretty, I ended up leaving it dry on not putting no water on it. Anyway, I'll cut to
the first two you did that way, right?
Yeah, the first 2 I did that way. I'll cut to the point. They all said, everybody in this post said, put 3 to 4 inches over the top of the concrete after you're done and let it set on there wet. So you got wet concrete, and then you put 3 to 4 inches of water over that. What I'm guessing out of that is that puts the weight on the tire, because settling is one big problem. But they said the concrete will cure underneath that water. We done that, what has that been, 3-4 days ago? And we still got 3 to 4 inches of water on top of that concrete. So I know for a fact that one point they made in that was with no water on there, it could shrink up away from the beat of the tire, and then also temperature fluctuations on there would affect it. So.
And we did see that with the first couple. We were like, is this shrinking a little away from the tire?
Right.
So the last 3 down through there, we put the water on top. And didn't you also read that some people just put it completely dry and just put water over it?
Yes.
We did not do that.
No, we did not do that. I've seen people that say they've done that, and it works on numerous ones. But then I've also seen people comment back, that's kind of maybe a lazy man's way of doing it. I didn't want to risk it, so I went ahead and mixed it all in wet and then put the water on top of it.
And it's worked beautifully.
Great.
Yep. Exciting. So Ben's got to finish up the gravel on a couple of these. He's got to finish, like he was talking about, cutting the pipe off, finish the piping, which is, I would say, minimal compared to everything else he's done. And then they're going to get inspected, I think, Friday or Monday. That's the thing. You have to do these projects to their specs. If you're not interested in doing it the way they ask you to, you're just kind of wasting your time, because they are going to come inspect them, and to get paid, you have to do them the way they ask you to. So just want to put that out there.
That was one of the things with the water line, is they required, the one that we was wanting to do, they was going to require a 2-inch HDPE pipe. We went with 1.5 inches, much cheaper for some reason, just a 1/2 inch difference, but
it's been plenty.
1.5 inches
plenty good.
has been way plenty.
Yeah. So again, you have to decide if it's worth it to go through them, or if you're better off not to. And I think situations are just all different. People's situations are different. If you're ready to, like, you didn't even know about a whole lot of these programs, and you're already ready to jump off into, like when we bought our cows, we couldn't wait. we couldn't financially justify waiting a year and a half. So anyway, think it all through. What's right for us may not be right for you, but we just want to put these things out in case it can help you, or in case it's something that you might want to do. You got anything else?
No, I'm cold.
I'm cold too, and it's very windy. I feel like we're in like Oklahoma or something. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Thanks for watching.
God bless.
God bless.